I'm V, and I am finally back with another video after longer than a month. I would say longer than a month. A lot has gone on since the last video and now, which you can probably tell due to the space I'm in. My girlfriend and I actually got our own space and moved Thanksgiving weekend. And so with all of the holidays and the moving, I have not had like the time to sit down with the channel as much as I would have liked. However, it is a new year, and we are mostly settled into our new place, which means I will be having time to work on all of my little projects and all my hobbies, from cosplay to the YouTube channel to D&D. Finally, it's I miss playing D&D. And I've not been able to work on that for a while because like, while the timing of the move was kind of that wasn't planned. We were planning on moving and had been looking for the past while now, and like packing up and everything. So it's nice to like finally have our own place and be able to work on things again, even if things aren't fully decorated, the backdrop's not how I would like. There's still an echo in a couple of the rooms due to the lack of furnishing, which I'm kind of surprised when it comes to this room, because you can't see, but off camera there is this giant bookshelf that is completely full of books. I thought that would have like stifled some of the echo, but you more than likely can still hear it, and I apologize for that in advance. But with it being the new year, I thought it would be a good idea to do some goal setting, which is really exciting for me personally because I've always struggled to set goals and follow goals. I've gotten better with that like in recent years as I've like gotten older, but like back in like elementary school and middle school, and they're like, set a New Year's goal that you want to do, and I'm like, no, because I hate goals and I very rarely follow through with them, and then I disappoint myself in the process. I feel like the cure to that has been becoming an adult and getting a job. that has definitely allowed me to push forward and complete previously set goals as I've gotten older. So I am excited to set more and follow through with more to the best of my abilities. So I thought I would do a little video talking about some of them. Also, like, have noticed as I've gotten older that when it comes to like making lists and like even like short-term goals in a form of like a to-do list kind of thing, I find that like crossing things off of a list is very like rewarding. Just being able to like cross something off a list. So I'm gonna be applying that kind of tactic when it comes to following through with my goals, is to set it up like it's a to-do list, a to-do list to be done throughout the year, not something that needs to be done so short term, but just a to-do list for the year. I think being able to cross things off would also help me like stay online with that. So yay. I will say I do have like quite a few goals that like I have for this year, both related to like this channel and like reading habits, but also my other hobbies, and I'm a cosplayer. I will probably leave my other hobby related ones for like something posted to my account. my cosplay account like separately at some point, hopefully soon within the new year's, hopefully within early January, and not like, you know, February, March being like 2026 goals. My goal is to get the goal video done before that. Which, speaking of Instagram and cosplay, I will be inserting a promotion of my Instagram account somewhere along here. I originally created this account for cosplay and posting cosplay and like, you know, my process of it. But now I've been including posting about this channel and a couple of other like hobbies. It kind of just depends. I figured it would be easier for me personally to kind of make it a multi like interest account, so that I'm not trying to keep up with an account for my YouTube channel and then the cosplay account, and instead just merging it into one. This is my content creation account type of thing, which I'm already not great at keeping up with my cosplay account at times, because I'm still like trying to like feel okay with not posting only cosplay related like content. And I've been like in that rut for like the past year with introducing like makeup related content on there. That is a me problem. But when I do post for this channel, I do usually post an update there that I have posted. So if you would like to keep up with that, here's my Instagram that I will hopefully keep updated more. That is the hope. Now for the goals. I would like to start off with one that is going to sound very big. And that is, I would like to read at least 50 books this year. I know like a lot of people like get into like the hundreds, and for some people, you know, being able to hit like 20 books a year is like a big thing. This isn't like me being like, I want to read 50 books and like compete with people. It's just more of I think that this is something that I can personally do. In 2025, my goal was originally 5 books, because I like had not really read just to read for a while at that point. And I also started like getting back into reading in the middle of the year, around like the end of May to like June. So I was like, let's start really small. I ended up reading around 26 books. So I feel like doubling what I read last year is completely possible. That, and with the sheer amount of books that my girlfriend and I have in our possession, that also makes it an easier goal to obtain. Obviously 50 is kind of like the minimum of like where I would like to hit. It is not like the cap. If I hit 50 and it's like August or September, I'm obviously gonna keep reading more books while not adjusting the number. But it's not a cap. Once I hit 50, it's not like I'm gonna be like, I'm done reading for the year, I got my 50 books. And no, that's not the case. 50 is just kind of like the minimum that I would like to hit. My second goal, which is several goals kind of put into one, but it is related to keeping up with this channel better. Not just like when it comes to posting, but also when it comes to planning out topics and videos, and, you know, just better script writing overall. My planning and recent times isn't always like the greatest. Sometimes I get it in my head that I can just, ad-lib my thoughts, and then it does not go well. I found that me going unscripted leads to me scrapping more videos. I have scrapped like 2 or 3 videos now, because of not scripting. I get off topic, I ramble, I lose the plot. I lose the plot so very hard. I actually just recently scrapped a 3-hour long video that I recorded the other night because I lost the plot that hard, and I was like, wow, okay. I'm unfortunately one of those people who has to have almost everything verbatim written out, like scripted. And I need to I need to stick to the script a lot better than sometimes I typically do. So that is one of my goals, is better script writing, and then sticking with the script and not going, oh, I don't really need the script. I can just talk about this book off the top of my head. No, I can't. I mean, I can, but it will not be concise. It would not be, in chronological order. It would be all over the place. I'll talk about one event from the middle of the book, and then I'll backtrack to the beginning of the book, and then I'll say something towards the end and then backtrack again. It doesn't go well, and that's a reason why a couple of videos have been scrapped already. That being said, when it comes to planning and script writing, along with that means making videos that aren't always several hours long. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the multi-hour long videos that I, my first 2 videos, the only 2 videos so far on the channel have been. I enjoyed that process. However, it does take a very long time, and it means that I'm posting a lot less than I personally want to. And this is me wanting to post at least once a month kind of thing. Sometimes the multi-hour long videos means posting once every 2 months, every 2 to 3 months. Which means posting a lot less than I want to, me personally. Basically, I kind of want to find a balance between, posting a mix of the long form, multi-hour long videos and, maybe multi-part series, with also posting videos that are maybe only 20 to 30 minutes long, maybe 40 minutes long, a more manageable type of thing. This comes from me needing to learn that not every book that I talk about needs a 3-hour long video explanation about it. Not every book that I read needs a 3-hour long rant. Can I make it a 3-hour long rant, good or bad rant? Absolutely. I absolutely can, but that doesn't mean I need to. That doesn't mean I should. And that's something that I've kind of sat down on, and I'm wow, maybe I should try to make something that's not going to be, longer than a college lecture. On the topic of video related goals, another one would be, I would really like to sit down and work on the Monster High series of videos that I keep saying I'm going to make and I haven't. Those books were the original reason why, along with Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. The Monster High books by Lissy Harrison was the original reason why I wanted to make a YouTube channel in the first place, so that I can talk about the mess that is that series. And I have not done it yet, obviously. There is so much to unpack when it comes to those books, and like how short they are, that I want to make sure that I like really plan out the scripts well and plan out the videos well. And so that means my goal is to have at least started it. I do want to make it a multi-parter. I toyed with the idea of putting all 4 books into one video, and then I was like, do I really want to do that? The answer is no. I'd rather make 4 separate videos on like one for each book, because like, again, they're short books. They're like 200 to 300 pages long. Like sit down and one day read, but like the absolute like bullfuckery that happens in those books mentally, it's also like, yeah, let's split this up, because it's a lot. They're bad. But yeah, one of my goals is related to that, and actually getting to start on that, and posting about those. It is January, so I have 12 months to do at least one of them. My goal is to hopefully do more than one, but I want to definitely do at least one. Starting off small, pushing myself more as I complete things is my mindset right now. I would also like to do something once a month for the channel, where I do like a month in review of all of the books I read for that month, so that I'm not doing a long video that ends up being 4 hours long at the end of the year, detailing every single book that I read. I attempted to do that the other night. That is the video that got scrapped, because again, just the long worded preamble, the long-winded ramble that I went on, and also just trying to remember the plot of like every single book off the top of my head. Again, poorly scripted on my part, which is another reason why it got scrapped, was because it was poorly scripted. I think doing a month in review, touching, briefly on every book that I read, but maybe didn't necessarily do like a deep dive on, would also help with the whole wanting to post at least once a month goal. I thought it would be something like fun just to review each month and how it went. My last big goal as of right now for 2026 is being more mindful of like the authors I read. And when I say this, I don't mean like only avoiding problematic authors who promote really hateful beliefs or ideologies, because that is something that I try to like keep up on, like, oh, what authors are being openly racist and homophobic, or even not so openly but very subtly, but it's still like very rampant. I try very hard to like keep up with that and like avoid authors who who are gonna have that type of thinking. I don't want to give those kinds of people my money. I'm sure you don't want to give those kinds of people your money. But also, like something that I noticed in the move was that a lot of the books in my girlfriend and I's joint collection, they are predominantly written by white people. And so something that I want to be more mindful of is exploring more authors who are people of color. Just like it's 2026. It's something that should have already, been mindful of. I haven't really like read too terribly much or like gone book shopping like too much before last year. Like I really only started to read again last year in like May, June-ish. And so it's not really something that I have been great at doing recently. But it's something that I want to get better at. I do have a couple of starting points in my collection that I am really excited for. I am, however, really terrible at remembering book names when I'm not actively reading them, so I will just be providing images here of the books in question that I'm really like exciting for. But these are just like a starting off point. Like I want to expand from, you know, just these books, obviously. Like I'm not gonna be like, I read 5 books written by authors of color, I've done my work for the year. No, I want to like further expand on it, that these couple of books are just like my starting point of what I already have in the collection. You know, it's something I want to get better at, you know, personally. The writing field is a very like predominantly white dominated field already. I feel like the least that I can do is, you know, support it is to support authors of color. Like just at the least, you know. I really hope I'm like wording this okay. I was like really worried about like talking about this goal because I'm afraid of it coming off a certain way, because I know that I'm like really bad with my words sometimes, and that sometimes even when I'm being like well-intentioned and well-meaning, that sometimes they come off like entirely wrong and like really bad, and like I'm really trying not to. But like I'm like being so genuine when I say that like I really do want to expand like my I'm gonna use the phrase reading palette. I will read pretty much anything. So maybe palette is not the correct term that I should be using, but I do want to be more intentional. There we go. When it comes to picking things out. Maybe that's how I should word it, is I want to be more intentional. If I can intentionally choose not to support, you know, certain authors, I can also intentionally choose to support other authors instead. And yeah, I think that is one of the like goals of mine that I really want to like push forward to. And so with that being said, if there's like any authors that like you recommend, please do. I'm always open to most book suggestions and author suggestions. There's like a couple of like hard no's. I will not touch like that author or their works with like a 20-foot pole. J.K. Rowling. You know, to name a few. But like otherwise I'm like so down for most suggestions. As long as like, you know, you're not recommending me authors that are homophobic or transphobic or racist or, you know, doing other nefarious things. Like please don't recommend me authors who like support really questionable, problematic like things. But otherwise, yeah, I'm very open to author suggestions, book suggestions, especially when it comes to like fiction. That's kind of like my main thing, is just, you know, fiction as like a whole. Yeah, I think those as of right now are my goals. I am very excited for this upcoming year. I'm very excited for, you know, just being able to create things again and to be able to sit down with books more and actually be able to talk about them, not just, read them and then rant at my poor unsuspecting coworkers about these books, which again, another reason why I started the channel. I don't know, I'm really excited for this year and what's to come, and I think that is all for right now. If you would like to share some of your goals for 2026, please do. I would love to hear about those. If there are any books or authors that you would like to recommend or suggest that I check out for 2026, I would also love to hear that. Like I said, I will read most things. I'll read most things. I have trouble like DNFing books. So even if I don't enjoy it, it will more than likely be finished. But that is all for now. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.